Oh, you're back for another crypto video. That is nice to see. You know who's not back though? The German government, because they have officially got zero, I think, perhaps $1 worth of Bitcoin left. They've sold it all. They've dumped it all in a rather short amount of time, to be honest with you. I mean, if we compare it to Mt. Gox or we compare it to the US government, they have been really quick with their selling. And by the way, XRP just keeps doing really well here. Almost right now at 52 cents. I know it's not crazy if we take a look at the yearly performance, etc., but it's a redemption arc, all right? I think it will make a lot of people FOMO if this keeps on for a bit. But yeah, the German government, it's really nice to see them actually dumping it all so quickly, because the FUD and the uncertainty, which is one of the parts of FUD, that it brought were just so crazy high, which keeps on making you think, is it really a scary thing that they're dumping like a couple billion dollars? A couple billion dollars in the grand scheme of crypto ain't that much? Or is it mostly just people's fear that they're putting out there because others are fearful because some bigger institution is putting that out there? Do you guys know what I mean? Like all these influencers and all these just hodlers saying, oh, not sure, maybe we're gonna go lower, is mostly because of someone, right? Or something, or some bigger reason. I, for the most part, think it's just manipulation. They're trying to get you to sell, while on the opposite end, it would make a lot of sense if right now things just start doing really well here, because once more, one of the three reasons why people were so negative is now already gone. And theoretically speaking, every day we move further into the future, if these sales are still keeping up, Mt. Gox and the US government, we're actually only getting in a better and better position per day, knowing that they will sell inevitably, and knowing that it will be better to get them out as soon as possible. Kind of funny also how they had $1 worth of Bitcoin, or at least supposedly 0 point whatever. I wonder how much they have now, how much people are sending in donations, but yeah, it's just kind of for fun. Anyway, something else that I think was quite interesting that was posted tonight. Well, Gary Gensler said, hey, you think you've spotted something fishy in the market? Submit a little tip or complaint to the SEC. And some people kind of were saying, hey, it's you, Gary Gensler, that's messing us all up. But was funny was that even Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip, husband, father, hockey fan, whatever, most importantly, congressman from Minnesota's 6th District, he himself said, I'd like to report the SEC chair for regulation by harassment, #fire Gary Gensler. Continuing this story, one thing that's actually quite interesting as well is how all of a sudden the ETF inflows have started to ramp up with some size. So we were talking about it over on, I think, the 5th or the 8th already. Then all of a sudden, no, I think it was right here, BlackRock has started to put the jets back on. For some reason, as Germany started selling, people noticed, hey, you know what? Perhaps this dip is where we start buying instead of selling. And BlackRock, all of a sudden, from zero over the last few weeks, has gone to 200 million, 120 million, 22 million, 72 million, and yesterday, again, another 120 million. But it coincides with the rest, where again, right now, today, yesterday, even Grayscale had inflows, turning it into a $310 million inflow day, one of the highest ones, at least we've seen over the last few weeks. I'm not sure what the highest total number has been. I guess the highest number has been 1,045, actually, because apparently you can see it right here. And if we're talking Bitcoin, it's pretty nice to see that finally the prices are starting to look good again as well. I mean, I can't say we're in the clear, but the last couple of days have been quite positive. And I guess there's just a big shift in sentiment, where before, if I asked anybody, they would have told me, man, are you stupid? We're going to go down to this, that. We're going to go down to zero. But all of a sudden, the last few days, there's been more positive vibes. Perhaps it was really Germany ruining our mood. But side note, guys, I've been perfecting my plans over the past couple of months. I mean, we've been here for multiple cycles, and it's always harder in practice than in theory, right? But let me tell you one more thing. Regardless of whatever news you see, regardless of a German government, Mt. Gox, whatever, if you just keep buying the freaking dip, you'll be all right, is what I always say. There will always be people with different opinions. And some said, looking at this market right now, it feels like I'm watching a train approaching a car at high speed, and everyone else is just chilling like they don't see it coming. And you see, one of the funny things about social media, for the most part, is that it's almost always just very easy to say, you know what, something really bad is going to happen. You know why? If something bad doesn't happen, everybody's too happy to give a crap anyway, because things are going up. And if something bad, which inevitably at some point happens, does happen, people are like, oh, you see, that guy said it. And with going up, it's slightly different, because ultimately these markets move up. So I know it's very easy to say, hey, if you just buy the dip, you'll be right and you'll make money. But it's been that way since Bitcoin's inception, and in almost any other market it's the same way as well. If you just bought the S&P, whatever moment in your life you started, if you just bought and you kept on buying, you'd be in a ton of profit right now. With most things, if you don't go too specific on the investments, you would have made a ton of money over time. And even with assets that moved sideways, if you just bought the dip, you could have still made money on the legs upwards. I will always say, though, that nobody knows exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, nor does it really matter. If your strategy is set and you're confident in it, then any dip is a blessing because you get to buy cheaper, and prices going up is nice because you see your portfolio gaining. Anyway, in terms of news, I saw a couple of articles that were okay, interesting, but nothing worth really bugging your neck over. I mean, bending your neck over. I'm sorry about that one. Apparently, $720 million were transferred from a Genesis-linked wallet to Coinbase. There were some articles about why the XRP price was pumping, but ultimately, nobody really knows. It's for the most part now accepted that it's either because it's the yearly celebration anniversary of the lawsuit, and because of the CME thing, and because it was really undervalued, because I mean it's up like 40% in a week. And then I saw some articles that were, I'd say, most interesting. How Cynthia Lummis plans to integrate Bitcoin and strengthen the US dollar. It was quite cool. Let's take a look.
No central bank digital currency. I'm so happy about that because that's a means of surveillance of the American people. But we want to make sure people can have individual wallets for their Bitcoin so they have that sovereign over their own money. We know we want the US dollar to remain strong. And actually having Bitcoin in reserve can help the US dollar remain strong.
Now, I mean, Bitcoin, privacy-wise, ain't the best either, depending on what information they want from you, but there's more possibilities, I'd say. I mean, Bitcoin is infinitely traceable, right? Because that's our blockchain tech. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that's necessarily the best argument to make. On the opposite side, it's free for everybody in the world to partake in, so they can't link you to all the Bitcoin you've got. All they could do is link your transactions from any wallet that you, for example, specify in your tax report, whatever, that they could do. But it's still quite interesting to think of a Bitcoin-backed dollar. I don't think it's necessarily quickly going to happen. I mean, the U.S. government has Bitcoin, but if they wanted to really do it, I think our Mr. Powell would have been a little bit more open in his previous talks. He's never been that open to the idea. But hey, we're open to surprises, you know? Man, XRP just keeps on going. I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, the price right now is 53 cents even, up 15% throughout the day. XLM quickly following along. ICP following that yet again also. Damn, right? It's been a good day, but that just marks the freaking spot. I mean, Bitcoin is moving up ever so slightly. Ethereum is moving up ever so slightly. Again, if you've been watching the videos, you probably bought the dip for Ethereum at what? 2,800, something around that. Bitcoin, anytime you buy Bitcoin is always pretty safe, always pretty nice. What a good day. Let's quickly see if some other areas are doing well. AI coins, some smaller ones are doing well, but nothing too crazy over on here. Just for fun, let's quickly check memes. Again, not really crazy numbers on those. It seems really that XRP is like a little bit of a king right now. That's funny. All I can say about it, though, is that I'm pretty happy to see it because still, it's a very large holding of mine. Again, I'm not being paid to talk about XRP. I literally care 0% if you buy or sell. If you want to, comment down below how much you hate it. Doesn't do me any good, doesn't do me any bad. At the end of the day here, we're all here for our own journey, and it's not a freaking charity. You're not here only for others' entertainment, even though I kind of am. But you're here for your financial future. You know, maybe perhaps you're here only to fill your pockets or only here because you like technology. Regardless of it all, we get no further by just schmack talking. And I get no further either by holding something that doesn't do much technology-wise and doesn't do much price-wise. But I'm fine with waiting for good things to develop. And I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are noticing it, but hey, boy, hey, this XRP price, yeah, that's nice. That is nice.